Carlos Barrios, the clerk craft director.
Aurora Pro, I'm the maintenance craft director and Texas State Legislative Director for
All right.
TPWU.
So, we're hearing about all these sorting machines getting removed. How many are we talking about in Texas, or at least that you guys know in your
In San
area?
Antonio, they have removed
Four.
They have removed 4 letter sorting machines out of the plant here in San Antonio.
And how does that compare? How many out of how many?
How many we have?
We used to have 32,
Okay, so now we have
28.
Still got it, just with that math. So tell me about what that means for what you guys are doing.
Well, we process, like Chris had said earlier, 35,000 pieces per hour. So you figure that.
Per machine.
Per machine, that 8 hours, you do the math, multiply by the 4 machines is a big impact. Because we do about 1.2 million pieces of mail in San Antonio alone a day. And we're not getting close to that margin anymore because the machines have been cut back and consequently the mail is being curtailed and sitting at our plants waiting. And if we can't get them to the station, with the letter carriers, we'll then take to our customers.
So it is having an impact. What is is it measurable? How is it looking? What's the delay? What are you guys looking at in terms of the impact?
Well, we have a lot of mail that just sits there, first class mail. We have letter mail, mail that you and I mail to our creditors. We have credit cards mail sitting there. We have people trying to get checks who are coming from their retirement check, medical. We have a lot of mail that the veterans get from the VA. It's sitting there in packages. It's not just impacting the letter assortment. It's impacting the entire spectrum of what we do. Our biggest mailer we have is USAA. And USAA is being impacted, and I'm just absurd to have, they haven't rang the bell and asked where their mail's at, because it's sitting at the post office, and there's thousands and thousands of pieces every day just sits there. And we have a lot of employees that take a lot of pride in leadership. They've been there. I've been there 33 years. We don't need anyone to say first class mail comes first. It's ingrained in us already, and we just do it. Now we're being told and micromanaged every single day and said, you will do A, B, and C, and you won't do E, F, G until we tell you to, and there's no questions asked.
Okay. So what are the EFGs? What are you being told to do in lieu of?
We're being told to process standard mail, and even the first class mail will run. Say, I'll give you an example. In my tour in the morning, we come in at 7:30 in the morning, we may have one machine that is relegated just to run box mail. Those are P.O. box mail. We have our big mailers. We have 4 or 5 of those post-cons that hold thousands of mail and per each, and we're saying, okay, you're only gonna run 1 of those post-cons, the other 3 just kick them back. We could easily push those 4 out, and within about 2.5 hours, we're done with it. And then we go on to another thing, but we're told, leave it there. And that piles on every single day. So if you can go by on a daily basis and you'll see mail that's been sitting there for weeks.
I mean, is this more, for you guys, are these delays more about, you know, these mail sorters, which really it sounds like only do flats and pieces of mail
Right.
versus packages, or is it about just the cuts to overtime?
It's cutting the overtime, and because of the pandemic, we need more people to come in to help assist us and try to do a hiring. But the Postal Service has put a freeze on that kind of right now, which is not a problem. But in the second terms, the people that we have in place now can process the mail, which we have. But they're not paying that overtime. They're just cutting back as much as they can, rather than put and just let the mail sit there and delay.
So what needs to happen?
What needs to happen is, first of all, our center needs to support the HEROES Act so we can get the $25 billion that we've been asking for so that we can sustain ourselves above. Because we're an agency to provide a service. We're not here to make a profit. But we need to be able to get that mail, that your customers come to us on a daily basis and provide a premium service to get their mail from point A to point B on the most efficient and cost-saving measures to get it to them, and we can have people, and then if it means paying on overtime, so be it, because we'll have the money to do that, but they're cutting us back.
And so, where's the facility that it was removed from? Where's it located?
It's located at 10410 Perrin Vidal Road.
Okay. And, I mean, there's a lot of kind of speculation that a lot of this has to do with some sort of election thing. In your guys' mind, what role does the election play in any of the mail sorting retirements?
You want to answer that?
I don't think it plays any part of the election. We've been doing the ballots year in and year out. This is nothing new for the Postal Service. I know now it's come out and saying that, well, we can't handle it, but we handle 3 to 5 billion pieces of mail every year throughout the country. And during the Christmas, it's up to 5 to 6 billion pieces of mail every day. You know, the post office delivers over 100 million addresses throughout the country on a daily basis. This is nothing new. We can handle it. We've been able to handle it. I don't know why people are saying that we cannot. This is what we do. We're geared up to do that, and we do it on a daily basis. And like Carlos was saying, the members take pride in their work. They get the mail. They want to get the mail. Their hands are tied. We're not being allowed to do that.
So what you're saying is you could handle it, but you're being shackled, and as a result, what will happen though?
The ballots will be there. They'll stay there.
The ballots will be at the distribution centers.
Yes.
They won't get in on time.
Right.
Okay. I've got some questions on my phone, so just bear with me. But I mean, so talk about, you know, what impact this has on your members, on what they're feeling, and kind of what's going on right now. How is this hit impacting, you know, their morale?
The morale is low throughout the plant and at the stations also. I think we have 30 stations?
36.
We have 30 stations here in the San Antonio region alone. And the morale is low because they take pride and they want to get that mail out. They want to get the checks out. They want to get the medicine out to the veterans, but we're not being allowed to. Their hands are tied. There's nothing they can do. And plus, along with all of this, we have the pandemic that's happening now. We have a lot of members that are out. So they're having to double up on trying to get the mail out. They get the frustration from the public at the windows, and it's not their fault. Management does not want to hire more people during this pandemic. So you have the long line, and the public takes it out on the window clerk, and it's not their fault. But they see it every day, day in and day out. They're just doing the best they can.
Have you seen an increase in complaints?
Yes, yes.
Any kind of numbers behind that?
I don't know the numbers here, but I know that I get calls all the time from members saying that the general public, the way they're treated, they've taken their frustrations out on the clerks at the window. Why aren't you taking this? Why do I have to wait in line? It's not their fault. They're doing the best they can. They're just not being allowed to.
Yeah, yeah. And then, so the sorters that were removed, what were you guys told at the time when it was
Well,
removed?
at first when this started, they said that we're going through a phase, because due to the pandemic, that we had a low volume rate, which that's not necessarily true. We still had a good volume rate, and the machines still need to be there. Now these machines are removed, we ain't like we can get these machines back. These machines they're gonna get broken, or they got removed out of the plant itself, where we're not gonna be able to get them back. So even if the mail picks up, now they're gonna spend an exorbitant amount of money just so they can add machines. Whereas we could have just kept these machines there, and then as the mail volume increased, then we still have them and we can keep on moving more mail. But instead now, we don't have the machines, and they've cut back machines, now we're delaying the mail. And we're not just talking about ballots, we're talking about all types of mail, even our packages. And right now, during the pandemic, packages are one of the biggest things, because everybody orders so they don't have to leave their house, they can stay inside their homes and be safe. So they order packages, but now our packages are even being delayed due to this, due to what's happening right now. That's why the HEROES Act is so important to us, that we get this funding, so we can continue on and deliver this mail, make sure that everybody gets their mail.
But at the time they'd said this is because of low volume.
That's at first what they tried to say, at low volume, but we didn't have that low volume, that volume was still there. They just went ahead, as soon as the Joy showed up, this seemed to happen, that the machine started going away, and then they started delaying the mail. They said, well, then he came out with this thing that we're gonna send the trucks out with whatever mail they have, and whatever that's left behind, we'll just get it the next day. And that goes totally against everything that we've been trained to do, that we don't leave mail behind, we get it all out, we don't delay the mail. So he's totally changed the structure of the Postal Service by doing that.
And the result?
The result is that our customers, the American people, the American public, are not getting their mail in the time that they were supposed to be getting it. It's being delayed now. Instead of them getting it the next 2 days, we're getting it in a week. So that's.
And I think they're underlining it with the secureness. That's what they want to push. What I'm talking about is the new Postmaster General, and he's getting his orders from the White House, we believe, because he's a hand-picked person by Trump. But we don't want to make this a political thing. We just want to bring light to the seriousness of the issue. I mean, for years, millions of Americans have trusted us with their IRS returns, with their IRS checks, with their medication, with their bills, with their checks, with their stimulus checks. And now, all of a sudden, it's going to be an issue with receiving ballots. I mean, this is what we do. We've been doing this for years. So when they say, well, it may incur another 150 million pieces, well, bring it on. You know, we're prepared. Yes, the letter has been declining, and there's facts that show that it's been declining. Will it rebound? No, it'll never rebound. But we know there are other avenues people are using, but I guess to promote commerce. But still, we have, like Robert spoke just a moment ago about the parcel business. So anything and everything they can put a scare in the public that security is the most measuring tool for them getting their mail, that's what they're trying to do. And it's scaring everybody. We've got employees that, not only because of the pandemic, but what's going on, they're thinking, maybe this is best for me to retire. People who are probably thinking about, well, I'll retire in 2-3 years. They're being scared to retire now, thinking they may not have a future. They might not have a retirement. They want to leave now. So that's the frightness that they're posing on our employees.